Welcome, everybody. So I can get better audio here. We got the snowball going. All right. Well, we got a good group here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like a good group. All right. Let's get going. First of all, I want to make it very clear in case someone's here that under a different idea. We're not talking about getting more wedding and baby and portrait and maternity pictures. That's not the kind of photography that I do. It's not the kind of marketing that I do. Business to business. We're commercial photographers, editorial photographers, work for interested third parties. So if you're here for weddings and stuff, I'm sorry. Probably not much here is going to help you. Number 2, while every market is different, some markets lend themselves to some types of photography better than others. For instance, if you want to be a fashion photographer, living in a small town is going to be a gigantic hurdle. I do not want to say it can't be done, but it can't be done. You need a big mass of people for fashion photography. You also have to have a zip code that puts you in Brooklyn or Manhattan. That's the kind of thing it works out to be. If you're a food photographer and you love shooting food and you're in a town of 33,000 people, you may find it difficult to build a business. In that case, you may have to add some weddings and portraits, etc., because there may be not enough food photography in that little town to sustain you. These are all realities that a lot of businesses have to face. I mean, I'm sure jewelry stores and markets and things like that look at their demographics for certain areas to decide if they can actually move their company in there, if there's enough people to do it. I know that fast food like McDonald's and places like that, they're very, very sharp with whether this town can sustain that restaurant or not. So we also have to understand that as well. Does that mean you can't be a professional photographer? No, it does not. It means you're probably going to have to raise more awareness from your area to places where they have photography. For instance, Jennifer Boomer. And while we're chatting here, I'm going to pull up Jennifer Boomer's webpage because Jennifer is a very talented photographer, lives in Marfa, Texas. If you know Marfa, Texas, or if you don't know Marfa, Texas, I will tell you that it's not a very big place. Tiny, actually. But she works for companies like Adidas and Nike, BP Petroleum. Lots and lots of companies hire her. She has to leave Marfa, Texas to do a lot of her work, obviously. You know, she's got the proverbial bag packed in the hallway, cameras ready to go situation. But she's a professional working photographer in Marfa, Texas. Kevin Johnson, I believe, lives either in Seattle or back in Bend, Oregon. He's from Bend, so I'm not really sure which one which town he lives in, but they're small towns. And he works for major clients like Vogue and other ones, but you have to go and find them. So as a photographer, our job, our biggest challenge is how do you find people who want to hire us? I have a free course here. And again, I'm not trying to sell anybody anything on Black Friday. But if you go up to the findphotoclientsnow.com, you will find 4 videos there that will really, really open your eyes. So what we're going to kind of do on this little hour is go through the hot spots of these. Number 1, your portfolio. Your portfolio is the only thing that you have to show photo clients what it is that you do. A photo portfolio should be archived images, images that you've created both for a portfolio, for yourself, for clients, for other clients. We call those tear sheets if they're printed, or if they're on a website, you print the website page. Those archived jobs that you've done add up to a book that has what we call a body of work, not just a bunch of good photographs. Even if they're all good photographs, if they're so disparate that they make no sense together, then they're not going to work. So what happens is that so many photographers get into a situation where they have 50 shots in their portfolio, and they've gotten them over the past year by taking photographs wherever they are. And so now they've got a really cool picture of a flower, and they got a picture of a hummingbird, and they got a food shot they did in San Diego, and here's a neat shot of a truck kind of blurred going under an overpass. And all these shots individually, they're pretty cool. All together, it says nothing. The art director, the people hiring us, have to look at our portfolio and get a real grasp on what it is that we do, what it is that we like to do the best. And then they, unfortunately, they kind of pigeonhole us a little bit. They say, oh yeah, this guy is a whatever photographer, and that gal's a whatever photographer. It sucks sometimes when you like to shoot a lot of things, but in the world of commercial photography, really do have to zero down on just a couple things: people, product, food, that type of thing, so that the art directors get an idea of what it is we are good at. Lots of photographers are good at a lot more things than you'll see in their portfolio. Just truth. But they know that they've got to narrow it down. So your portfolio is item number one. And how do you prepare a portfolio? You shoot it deliberately and purposefully. You make images for your portfolio that meet several criteria. Are they technically proficient? Did you nail the exposure? Is the exposure right? Does it look good? And remember, there's no such thing as a correct exposure on everybody's pictures. There's your pictures, there's everybody else's pictures. You have a look that you have to develop and maintain. So did you maintain that look? Is the image clean and devoid of any kind of problems? Because art directors, people who are used to looking at a lot of images, will see that trash can you missed if you don't go over that image with a fine-tooth comb. I once looked at a photograph cover page for a local magazine in the Midwest, and the art director had no access to Photoshop, etc. So they just ran the image, and this photographer was, showing off the image to a bunch of us. And I don't critique work without what I'm not asked to do, so I didn't say anything. But here's this bridge and a couple on the bridge, and they're perfectly in focus. And he shot it at, instead of 2.8 and letting everything go out, 4, let everything be out of focus, he shot it at like 11 or 16 with a long lens, so everything's in focus. The trees are in focus behind him, that big old garbage can with the lid tilted because the garbage is overflowing, perfect on the bridge. That might work in that little town, but it sure as heck isn't going to work in your portfolio when you're trying to show your portfolio to someone in New York or Chicago or Milwaukee or wherever the big city is near you. It's just not going to work. You can't do that. The second thing that's really, really important is, does it solve a problem? A sunset photograph usually doesn't solve a problem. It might be pretty, doesn't solve a problem. Picture of a flower doesn't solve a problem unless you present the picture of a flower in a way that shows that you created something new or took something that we've seen 100 times and made it really awesome because we've never seen it like that before, or what have you. But if it's just a flower in your garden, it doesn't solve a problem. If it's one of your 25-year-old buds standing up next against a pale yellow wall, just standing there like this, doesn't solve a problem. Doesn't have to be big problems. We're not talking about logistics or anything. It just has to be a problem. 2 people standing up next to the yellow wall, you solved a problem. Shooting 2 people is hard. I mean, 1 person, relatively easy compared to 2 people. 3 people, and they're interacting, and it looks cool, and they're working it, and the compositions, you solved a problem. A picture of a cup of coffee sitting on a table. No bubbles. No little Starbucks flower or whatever it is that they put in the top. You haven't solved a problem. Cup sitting on the table, silverware, something else going on, a perfect flower in the coffee cup. Now you solve the problem. If you don't solve problems, I can't use you as an art director, because everything that you're ever going to do is going to be a problem that's going to need solving. Everything that you do is a problem that's going to need solving. That's just what the nature of our business, folks, is just the nature of what we do. When we go out to do a job, it's not going to be as easy as we thought it was going to be. And if you ever want to see real terror, tell a commercial photographer over the phone, hey, it's going to be a really easy job. This won't be any problem at all. That's a big red flag that says, holy crap, take everything you have in the kitchen sink, because, yeah, it's going to be a problem. Nothing is easy. If it was easy, they'd get somebody to do it out of accounting who's got a really cool D750. They're going to hire us. They want something done that is not going to be easy and is going to be a challenge, and we need to be able to solve problems. Very number 1 rule of commercial photography is know how to solve problems, period. So you got your body of work. Now you have to take that body of work, those pictures, sit down and edit the ever-loving heck out of them. This little video, I'm going to share a screen with you here. This video right here over at Find Photo Clients New will really talk you through a lot of information about your portfolio and what you need to do. All of this is free. All of these 1, 2, 3, and 4 are free. So knock yourselves out. Some of them are quite long. I remember how long this one is, but it's like, they're like 30 minutes. So they're full-on classes. And like I said, they are free. Once you've edited your piece, your photographs, to get a reason that they exist, that's that body of work. What's your reason? Let's take a look at a couple of photographers who have reason. We'll come back to these photographers as we work along here. Let's look at Kevin Johnson. His pictures have a nice feel to them. Do you see the colors work together? The framing works together. The images work together. This is a nice little body of work. Who wants to hire him to shoot architecture? Well, maybe environments, but I'm not seeing architecture there. I'm also not seeing fashion, even though he does shoot some fashion and people. He's not really a fashion shooter, more as much as he is a lifestyle photographer. Who's going to hire him to shoot product in the studio? Nobody. That's not what he does. He's not trying to confuse anybody with what he does. Same with David Harry Stewart. When you hire David Harry Stewart, you're probably gonna have him shoot people. Not architecture, not food, not cars, people. If you hire Scott Tepfer, you're probably going to have him shoot something that has wheels on it. Lifestyle, travel, people involved, motorcycles, cars, hip, young photographer. Jennifer Boomer, places. People. She's got people here. People. She has a style that works for her. And she brings the fact that she's in Marfa, Texas. She brings that to her work. She wants you to know she's in Texas. Because if you need something shot in a studio, like something on white, there's a whole lot of photographers in Chicago where you live. If you're the art director there, you live in Chicago. There's a whole lot of places in Chicago. They can get that shot for you on white. She doesn't do that because she knows she lives in Marfa. You're probably hiring her to do something in the Southwest because that's where she is already. So your job as a photographer is to build a portfolio that says what I like to do, where I like to do it, how I like to do it, and present that to the art directors and the potential clients. Once you've got that package put together, those images that say, I'm a portrait photographer and I shoot food, etc., you have to start looking for clients in your area. We call them channels. Channels are the big picture of what you do. So let's say you shoot people doing lifestyle. What are some of the channels that you can do people doing lifestyle? Let's see here. We go over to, look at this. No, not that. Oh, share. We share. Whiteboard. Do I have text? Okay, so let's say you've got people doing things. What are the channels? Who hires photographers that shoot people doing things? Well, I'm going to go with pharmaceuticals. I'm going to go with eyewear companies, eyewear manufacturers, or let's just say eyewear. Hospitals, insurance companies, who else? Anybody? Jump in. Who shoots people doing things? Lifestyle, jumping, running, being active, etc. These are easy pickings here. These are the low-hanging fruit, obviously. Who else hires them?
Sportswear.
Sportswear, good. Sportswear is not necessarily fashion. It's sportswear. So understand that. Sportswear is a division of fashion, but you can shoot sportswear pretty much anywhere.
How about spas and gyms?
Exactly. Spas. Let's say spas, hotels, gyms. Trying to think what else. Oh, outdoor equipment. Tents, backpacks, hiking shoes. Who else?
How about restaurants?
Restaurants, all right. Amusement parks.
Pharmaceutical.
Pharmaceuticals, number one.
How about bicycles? We've just done.
What's
We
that?
just did on bicycles.
Okay, we'll put bicycles in there. Bicycles and personal transportation. All right, so what we've done here is we've created a list that gives you an idea instantly where your photographs can be used. When I do this exercise with photographers, a lot of times their eyes are opened instantly. When I look through their portfolio and I say, well, try these. I've asked photographers, who are your clients? They go, I don't know. Well, now you know. There's a bunch of clients. Are any of these clients near you? If they are, they need photographs. Eyewear company needs photographs at least twice a year. Somebody making eyewear in your town? I don't know. Maybe. Let's find somebody here in a local city. How about Dale? Dale Frederick, where are you?
Albuquerque.
Albuquerque. You want to try it?
Have at it.
Here we go. Let me go over here to Albuquerque, new share. We're going to go back to Google Chrome here. I'm going to do a search for Albuquerque pharmaceuticals. Well, I'm just going to go Albuquerque. Looks like we see one's going to come up for sure. Pharmaceutical jobs and employment, blah, blah, blah. New Mexico Biotech Pharma and Device Company list. Whoa, jackpot. We got Aglvax. Don't know what that is. Let's try Exagen Diagnostics, all right? Maybe we can click on it and go, yeah, we can. We can go to Exagen Diagnostics. First thing we want to do is, do they use people photographs? I'm going to go with yes. Right off the bat. I'm going to go to About Us. And About Us is going to tell us our products and all of those things. And it's also going to have a Contact Us page. Contact Us is going to give us, wow, now we got addresses. We don't have any phones yet, but we got addresses. I wonder if they do any print ads. Let's see, Exagen.
There was that one down further on that list, Sandia Biotech. I've seen that.
Sandia? Yeah, okay. I'm going to see if Exagen has a print ad. Let's see. Hey, they do. They got print ads of people. Now we're going to go to Google and we're going to say Exagen ad agency. Exagen positioning. Diagnostics. Exagen print. Here we go. Agency or Exagen Diagnostics print campaign by KPI Agency. Hey Dale, we know who did the ad, does the ads for Exagen Pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
We can click on View the Agency. No, it's on Agency Spotter, but we can also then go, was it KPI, right?
Yep.
KPI advertising. Oh, wait a minute. KPI is not an ad agency. It's a thing. All right. KPI agency. Yes, it is. It's an agency. Seriously? Wow. KPI agency. KPI, a different kind of advertising agency. And here we go. Go up to there, and we've got people, who we are. Let's see if this gives us an idea. All right, sort of this is a big agency. A lot of stuff here. But you also have contact us. You now have the phone number right there for the KPI advertising agency who handles pharmaceuticals at a company in your town. Took us a little bit longer than it should have. Took us about 5 minutes. We got sidetracked with that other KPI thing. But within 5 minutes, you got a phone number. Now, this doesn't absolutely guarantee you that you're going to get a job there. But now, at this moment, you now can see a client that would hire you, possibly. Instead of saying, well, who do you shoot for? You can say, I shoot for companies like KPI. In your head, you can say, this represents the kind of company I want to shoot for. They do print ads and the whole bit. I don't know where they are. 949 area code. Anybody know?
Did have in that send the message a little thing that said New York local time with the local time in New York.
Yeah,
It
so it's
says
in
California there.
Yep. Yep, 910. So they're in Orange County, somewhere over there. You see how powerful that is? Folks, it can, let's try another one there. Let's go to Albuquerque. Well, first of all, anybody else want to try a town? Pop in there and we'll do Dale again if we don't get a volunteer. Anybody? All right, Dale, let's go with, what else did we say? We said hotels, right?
Yeah.
Hotel Albuquerque. All right, so here's the, actually the Hotel Albuquerque, right in Albuquerque. And we go here, we see, do they use pictures? They do. Do they use pictures of people? Not bad. Not bad. Let's look at amenities. Here. Outdoor swimming pool. So they're not big on people. Well, some little stuff. All right, so what you do then, you now have Hotel Albuquerque's website, and down well, these guys are not going to give us they're not going to give you a contact. So let's do this. Hotel Albuquerque. Hotel Albuquerque print ad. Pop over to images, see if there's one there. No, not seeing it. Not seeing a print ad. All right, so Hotel Albuquerque goes into a maybe, okay? Goes in your maybe pile. And it also means that you probably should drop by and ask, you know, who in the place who there hires photography. So all of these hotels, now these big ones like oh gosh, the Hampton Inn and places like that, they actually have an art department that you can get a hold of. You'll have to ask and you'll have to do some research, but generally each Hampton Inn would give you the name of the person who is their marketing director, and the marketing director will put you in touch with the people who hire photographers, which in many cases are hired locally, because the hotel industry, the medium-sized hotel industry, does not hire photographers from all over the world to come out and shoot this stuff. The big properties like the Sheratons and places like that, if you're good at shooting hotels, you can end up shooting Sheratons all over the world because they like to stick with as few photographers as possible. Any questions on how to do this? I want to find
So really, you're really looking for somebody who fits in, like in the markets you're targeting.
yes.
So if you don't do like the hotel type stuff, room photos and that kind of stuff, it's not really something you chase. But if you do a lot of possibly art or, like you said, pharmaceuticals, more product-driven stuff, you would then tailor your searches.
Right. So let's do this. Let's do graphic design agency Albuquerque. Let's graphic design companies, I guess we will. Okay, so now we have graphic design companies. This is the second wave. The first wave, you identify those channels where your work would work in. And then now we're going to find people who work in those channels so that we have names, okay? So let's go to Courtright Design. Why not? First one up. No, website. Let's try Ruby Creek. Ruby Creek website. They're going to show you in their portfolio if they use pictures of people. Looks like they use pictures of people. Contact. There's the phone. You pick up the phone and you call them and ask them who the art director is. We may cover in the about here. Mitchell, looks like you contact Mitchell Steinberg.
Yeah, I think this is the guy who works out of his home or whatever. That address that was down there is a high-end part of the town, sits up at in the base of the mountains.
Okay. So we just lost it, didn't we? Lost
But
that.
there's nothing wrong with that, you know.
No.
Especially if you were to build a rapport.
Design agency, design agency. Let's try another one here. We want to get it. We're looking for a name. We want a name. McKee Wallwork. Let's try that one. All right. There's work, surveys, monthly newsletter. Okay. Looks like they just want to sell me something. That's a new thing going on in the business. The weight company. Let's see here. Scroll down a bit about what we do, what we like, memberships, awards, specializing in. Cool, very good. Got some good clients here. And here's the team. She's the president. He is policy.
Yep, yeah, based upon that list up there, they do quite a bit of stuff up and down through the state here.
Yep. Okay. Looks like a lot of political stuff.
Look, they got a good sense of humor too.
Yep. So here you've got some names in here to get a hold of, right?
Yeah.
Telling stories, that's going to be a graphic designer. Looks like she's an account executive. He is they are both sort of policy people. So you've got names and phone numbers, Dale, of people. You know, that's really powerful. Man, that's the difference. Girlfriends, health, and wellness. I'm sorry, I got to check on that. That makes no sense to me.
Hey, how about there near the bottom, New Mexico kayak instruction?
All right. Well, I can tell you that they need a new web designer. How about we'll just stick with that, all right? And we're going to be real nice and go back. What's it called? The New Mexico?
Yeah, down at the right there.
There you go. So you see, they do use photography. Doesn't look
Yeah,
like,
Rio Grande Gorge there.
yeah. Yeah. All right. But you got some names. I mean, this is what you do. Now, can you do this 10 hours a day? No, you cannot do it 10 hours a day. What you do is you sit there 15, 20, 30 minutes every day. Plan it into your day. Maybe it's noon while you're having your sandwich. Maybe it's first thing you do in the morning because you don't like doing it. So do the stuff you hate first, get it out of the way. Whatever it is, about 30 minutes a day or whatever it takes you to reach 5 names. 5 names a day. 5 names a day is 25 names a week. Within a month, you'll have 100 names. And 100 names is a good place to start. You don't need 2,000 names. That's crazy. You need 100 names. And then that's going to start. And then what you're going to do is you're going to start replacing some of those 100 names as you look more and more into their work. You might find out that these guys don't hire quality photographers at all. They shoot it on their iPhone. And so they go down to the B group and somebody else steps into the A group. It never ends. It's an ongoing, constant struggle, so to speak, between the creative and the hard work that has to happen to put this stuff together. We'll break for questions for a second.
Don, it's Sandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Hi, I'm in your video class.
Yeah.
And of course, that seems to be my focus these days. I've gone from thinking about art documentation and focusing on the art community here to a more broader
Well,
view.
your video work is coming right along.
Well, thank you. I still am looking at probably 5 months down the road where before I could actually think of it as a viable offering. But I'm thinking of clients now, and I'm thinking that it would be B2B direct and not through an agency, because I'm living in such a small area. We have a
Right.
population of 5,000 in the town of Duncan, British Columbia, Canada, with a rural area that we serve of about 50,000 people. And it has a large art community, small farms, and a lot of medical, dental offices in this area. It seems to be a hub for people to come to the city, the small city here, for their needs that way.
Sure. Still going to have to market.
So I'm thinking about their web pages and their about pages, and the people I've talked to, my lawyer, and just everybody that I talk to, they're asking me what I'm doing, and I'm saying video, and suddenly they perk up like this is new. I think there is only one person in town that's doing video. My mother-in-law did it about 20 years ago and failed with her business because it was such a new thing and people were just not accustomed to it. Now I think people are more receptive. I've hear about people hiring from Vancouver to do the story of their business, their whatever business they're in. They're coming from Vancouver to do it.
If they've got a Facebook or a website, they
Mhm.
need video.
Mm-hmm.
And bottom line is, I mean, it's not that they want video. I'll say it again. They need video. It's absolutely imperative at this point in our marketing phase. They need it. If you're trying to market on Facebook without video, you're struggling. That's just, they even make these things where you can take, still photography, right? And then the headline moves in from the right side and drops down and some text appears, right? That's still video. It's still video because it's moving, and we have to have moving stuff. There's no way around it. So Sandra, your market is going to be everything from those dairy farmers to the organic farms, because they love to show off their stuff, that they're organic, etc. All the way to the local dentist.
Right.
So and it's going to be, probably 30 to 40-second videos up to 3.5 minutes.
For their web pages.
For their web pages. After 3.5 minutes, then it gets a little bit longer and a little more tedious, but there's going to be people up there who want to do online classes. And they're going to find that trying to make a video off their 13-inch laptop may be a little disappointing. They need to get something done. So that is, where you're going to end up living. But that's, 50,000 people. There's definitely some stuff to be done there. Also, in the world of stock, Sandra, as you get better and better and better, you're going to start building up this little stock library of where you are, which is a very beautiful place. If it's in British Columbia, it's a very beautiful place, unless it burned down. There's all, with the fires you guys had, there's always that caveat, unless it burned down, like half of Montana did. So, but you just have all this stock, and the stock can be very, very nice and lucrative as well as you build up more and more and more and more pieces. So, keep at it. You're doing very well. You've done a video for every class. That's just awesome. Just
Well, thank you so much.
really, really proud of you. That's a lot of work, Sandra.
Thank
lot.
you very much. Thanks.
Okay, any other questions? Anyone else? Okay, we're going to get personal now. Now we know, let's say, Steve Smith. We know Steve Smith. We found him over on our search. He is the lead designer for the Smith Agency. Now, what do we do? People will say, well, okay, Don, you're always talking about a go-see. What's a go-see? Well, a go-see is when you call them up and make an appointment to go down and talk to them. They're rare in big cities. It's really, really hard. Scott Tepfer told me he went to New York for a week. It took him 4 months to line up 15 appointments, and 5 people didn't show. So the personal go-see is very rare. But the over-the-phone go-see, the over-the-phone conversation, hi, I'm Sandra, I'm a new videographer in town, and I'm specializing in doing small business videos. Would you like to see some of my work? Well, yeah, Sandra, I'm quite busy. Well, here's my website address. Go there when you get a chance, etc. That's what you have to do. You've got to engage them. There's 3 ways to engage them: the phone call, the email, the personal piece in the mail, the hard copy, analog mail work, direct mail. All of them work. They're all just as powerful as each other. Remember that art director A may tell you, oh, God, I hate email. Just send me something in the mail. Art director B is going to say, God, I hate mail. Don't send me any crap in the mail. Just send me email. There's no one way to attract these people. You're going to have to try all 3. Find the one that works with that art director. How often? What's that? Yes.
How about LinkedIn nowadays?
LinkedIn is really good. As a matter of fact, Brett signed up for the pro LinkedIn, and he's doing really well there. And he's a Project 52 board member, so we can get him to tell you about that. So is Jan Clear, who's also a board member at Project 52.
I mean, Eric had mentioned that at some point in time too.
Yeah, they're both doing pretty well on the LinkedIn Pro. There's some perks to the LinkedIn Pro, which there should be for, I think it's like $70 a month. It's not cheap, but you can definitely get in to see art directors on LinkedIn Pro. Yes, you can. Yep, no doubt about it. But before we go any further, to go along with that, should you buy a list? My opinion is not until you've done it yourself for at least a year. If you don't do this and you go out and you just buy a list, you will most likely struggle. The reason is you haven't done the work. You just got the list, and it's not really going to help you because you're not used to the work. Do the work for a year. Then if you think you found a list, or at least you can narrow down where your responses are coming to make the list make more sense to you, then get a list. But not until you are absolutely ready for it. So you're gonna look at the people that I know. When Eric started his business, he shot people. Eric Munities. He was a people shooter. He loved shooting fashion and girls and models and hot cars and stuff. And then started getting these tabletop jobs. And now he's known for, in the Bay Area, he's known for medical devices. And people are calling him up to book time with him to shoot medical devices. You never know where your world's going to go until you do it. Now, had he just went out and bought a list of fashion clients or something, I don't know where he'd be today. I don't. Was he a great fashion photographer? No. Are there a lot of great fashion photographers in the Bay Area? Yeah. So it would have been an uphill struggle for him, but he found a way to get in and get the work done. He's successful enough he bought an airplane. Let's just go with that. That's pretty cool. Steve down in Fredericksburg, same thing. People shooter. He was thinking weddings and people like that. Now he's deep into catalogs for about a half dozen clients. So there's stuff you've got to do first before you get into making that commitment. Direct mail doesn't have to be big. It doesn't have to be expensive. Chances are it's going to be thrown away. It just has to be done. How often do you do it? Once a year, twice a year, 3 times a year max. Really max, unless it's being so successful for you, you can't stand it. When Jennifer Boomer goes to New York, she tries to get at least 10 appointments, so she makes 15, 20, shows her work, and then once a year she sends out a fairly large printed piece. To date, the printed piece, let me say this, to date, a year and a half ago when I talked to her, up to that time, printed pieces she'd sent out, 3 of them, had never resulted in a single direct assignment. But they had resulted in getting in to see this art director, who then would say, well, you should go see that art director, always ask for a referral, and those had led to jobs. So in this business, the marketing is continuous, but the ROI for it can sometimes be a little skewed. Don't really see that. Getting personal is, we've got the names. We know who hires the photographer at that company, and we know that guy, that gal, that's who we're going to go after. So now we went from channels, I can shoot from pharmaceuticals, to Davis Pharmaceutical, to Phil Smith, art director. From I don't know who I shoot for to Phil Smith. How we got a name, a number, a person, a live breathing person, and we can market to them. How often is too much? I would say daily might be pushing it. So don't call them every day. But somewhere between 6 and 8 weeks is probably fine. Month and a half to 2 months apart. And what do you show Mr. Smith? What do you show him? You show him that book that shows pictures of the kinds of pictures or clientele that he represents. When I was an art director for my ad agency, as a creative director, I would get these mailers from photographers. I got mailers from nudes, fashion, cars, food. We did basically medical IPOs, and we use a lot of photography. We hired a lot of photographers. Medical IPOs, the medical intellectual property, medical software, medical infrastructure software and hardware. And fashion, that means you don't even know what we do. You wasted my time, and you wasted your own time. We don't do fashion. And it was easy. It's still easy. Go look at the website. The website, they'll tell you who their clients are. They'll probably show you some examples. So you go in and show examples. I'm I'm going to be very careful. I don't mean that you look at their work and go, okay, I can do exactly like that. No, no, no. They already got someone who does it. But if it's people and you do people, let them see your people. If it's parts, hard parts, car parts, motorcycle parts, etc., and you do that kind of product photography, let them see it. That's the goal. You don't want it to be so far out of left field that it doesn't make sense. Module 4, touch. These are those direct mail pieces, those email things. I use Gmail. Does anyone else here use Gmail? Anybody?
Email for my personal stuff.
Okay. Well, I use it. See, I forward my Donnet Steel ID. I forward that to Google. And then I use Gmail as my account. But if I send you an email, it's going to say Donnet Steel ID. Okay. And if you send me one, you can send it Donnet Steel ID. I use it because of this. I can come over here. Come on. I can go to Flash Issue. Create new. When I send somebody an email, I can send them a designed email with pictures and everything. This is not a piece. This is a test piece, but you can see what you can do. You can click here, change the banner. You can change the text. You can drop in all kinds of things like box text. Is it up here? You can edit the text. But you can send a single one-off email to somebody and have it be a designery looking email. And this is a terrible design, folks. Well, don't take this one. I think they've updated because that doesn't look right at all. Okay, got to create a new email. All right. So really think about what it is you're sending out. Your photographers, I would always attach an image somehow. If you're just doing it out of Outlook and it's an attachment and they have to click on the little paper clip to have the picture come up, that's not what we do. That's craziness. We don't show our work that way. We have to take a little bit more pride in how we show it. On the other hand, don't send them 15 images, because if you don't want to sit there while they have to wait for 15 images to download. Don't send anything wider than 1,000 pixels or taller than 1,000 pixels. They don't need that resolution. You don't need to send them a high-res image.
Can you hear her? Oh, just tell them that's part of the show.
I don't know if you guys can hear the granddaughter in the other room. She's not happy about nap time. But that's okay. That's how I get at nap time. So, all right. Any questions about where we are and how we got here? Does this help you understand how to build a strong list? I want to know if I helped anybody today.
Yes.
You sure have.
Yeah, I really need to work on my portfolio first, because I still have just a collection of images and nothing's defined yet.
Yeah, and you're not alone, okay? You're not alone. A lot of us do that, and then when you create a new picture for your portfolio, then you sit there and you agonize over where you're going to stick it. Where does it go here? Is this going to work? And then you put it here and you go, oh, I got to move these two over here. I just did the sorting for Catherine Vibert's website, and she had so many good photographs. My fear was if we put them all up, she would have like 60 in one gallery. Well, 60 is a lot. I am personally not one of those people who say put up everything you have. That's great. I've seen those websites. There's a photographer that I used to follow, and I can't remember, Kate Orn. Kate Orn. My God, I honest to God think she had. I think she had like 150 images in each gallery or more. And I loved her work, but I got bored, you know. So I say show the best 32 you can. Just pick 32. But we went through her images. We threw these out, put these here. Then we brought one back. I take that one out, and it was agonizing. Some of the ones we took out were really, really good, but they just didn't fit. They just didn't work. And even though they're a good image standing alone, it's got to work with everything else, at least somehow with the vision. So, well, all right. I'll give a couple seconds here if anybody has any questions. Are you sure? Okay. Thanks so much for coming out. I'm glad you were here. I will post this video up on the website as soon as I'm done with the end of the day. I'll have all these posted up there on the sign-up site. So thank you so much, and happy hunting for clients, folks.
Thanks, Don.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.